Hey guys!
Hi.
So, we just finished watching Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me
Yes.
for who knows how many times. David Lynch said this was sort of going to dictate the new season a little bit, so we thought we would rewatch and go over our thought. We literally just finished watching it. So we're going to just go, the fresh thoughts are there, they're ruminating.
Fresh thoughts are ruminating.
So we're going to discuss it,
Yes.
freshly sing it again,
Freshly
and
sing
we're
it.
going to, talk to you guys about what we think is going to happen in the new season using what we just saw.
I don't even know what we just saw.
Honestly, I don't know either, because every time I watch this movie,
Something different comes.
I get a different way of thinking about this universe and the characters and what the intentions are. There's things I missed. I just watching this again today, I caught so many new things.
Well, sure, after a long time.
That I didn't realize that I probably
Yeah.
wasn't paying attention before this. Basically, the conclusion I came to after this viewing is that the whole thing is about Laura saving people, ultimately,
Well,
in a weird way.
Sure, yeah, but why are they targeting these girls? Like, what is the point of all of
That's
the-
a good question.
like-
I think it's just metaphorically, like these, I guess.
like pure vessels?
Yeah, pretty much.
For
It's sort of like that kind of
Like
thing.
negativity to be invited in? But that doesn't really gel with anything that, the overall arc of the show isn't. There's so much more to it than that, I think.
I feel like the movie is so much different. There's so many different themes than what the show originally brought.
It sort of impacts the show in a different way. Like, it
really
changes a
does.
lot of things, but it also kind of answers a lot of questions as well. It's
And
interesting.
And I'm reading the diary right now for the first time.
Oh, yeah,
and
I finished
now
that.
after watching
Yeah.
this, after reading
It makes a lot more
good
sense.
portion of the diary,
a lot of
You
things fit in a lot better.
Yeah, you see how much Laura. She's so in the book. She's so weirded out about not being loved or not having love or not being able to give it.
Well, she's also drug addicted, and it seems from early on she's been molested
Abused,
or
yeah.
messed with at least a little bit.
But
I
I think the thing she realizes in the movie is that, at least in this viewing, this is what I caught, is that she has that all that love isn't even for a boy like she thought it would be, or that kind of love, like romantic love.
Right, she talks about that a lot.
And I think that the love that she was looking for is she's had the whole time, and I think she realizes it late into that movie.
Right.
And it's for Donna and for
Right.
like other people. She starts becoming a little bit selfless.
They make it a point almost to have her mother be very removed, so it seems like she's fulfilling that role not for her, maybe for herself by way of protecting Donna and the others. It just seems odd because in every scene you see them, they're it's Leland interacting with her rather violently or strangely, and all the mother
And
can
her
do
mother's
is
just
scream or
losing her
cry,
mind.
and of course that's a way of trying to protect, but it's not. There's not a hands-on approach, so it seems like she
Oh, yeah.
approaches it from a different. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but who knows if anything is
She
intentional.
was self-medicating. Yeah. I mean, I think even it might be intentional, even if he's not aware of it in the moment.
Oh, sure, things have a way
Just
of
listening to
narratives
the way he talks, he sort of figures it out later
right,
on.
Right, narratives tend to do that. They reveal things about the plot,
And I think
sometimes
that's
they write
the way he
themselves.
writes. Yeah, I think that's the way he,
He's very
writes the
stream
story.
he's very stream of conscious.
Which
Or
is how I create, I think.
Or
Also,
he likes it to appear that way. If he doesn't, well, I mean, look at Inland Empire that he supposedly wrote while he shot. We're not talking about that. That's a whole different. That's a different ball of wax.
it's.
Wax.
I think Laura Palmer's probably the best character he's ever created.
She's
And
the most solid, yeah. She's
It's
the most a
rounded,
person.
yeah.
You know the most about her without really knowing anything. Even if you haven't read the diary, you know there's more.
Especially in a lot of his other movies, everything's sort of intentionally two-dimensional,
Right.
and they sort of round it out later.
And they kind
Kind
of
of.
tell it from a not a solid. What is that? Second person perspective.
Yeah, usually
you find out
Second or
things
third,
from.
yeah.
You find out more from other people as opposed to directly the
From them,
character.
yeah.
Right.
You
And the
see
way
them
other
as
people
other people
interact.
see them, and
Right. Even in the pilot episode, they didn't even announce that she was dead, and everyone was
new.
immediately affected.
Mhm.
Donna breaks down in class.
Once she doesn't see her sitting there, she just knows.
Yeah, like and you feel that in that moment. I don't know if it's the music that.
That's probably, like I said before, I was talking about it before. The music is half that show.
Oh yeah, that sets the mood. And it sets a lot of
there's so many
strangeness.
musical themes. I'm doing the Lynch thing. Musical themes in the show.
There's a lot of repetition too. Like throughout the show, like you could say that one song is the soundtrack. That one main,
dun,
like that jazzy little,
dun,
yeah.
Dun. I mean, that is Laura's theme, and anytime I guess they feel Laura, they think of Laura, that's when that music swells. Except for when you see Black Lodge version of her, and then it's that cool jazz kind of thing.
Right. It's like a different side of the same person almost. Or maybe the way she was trying to be coming out through that possession or whatever it was supposed to be.
It's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Especially with Cooper.
Right.
Because Cooper also, I think Cooper is almost a mirror of her.
He's not necessarily pure either. It's interesting that it would choose to mess with him. I guess he's important to protecting her or the girls in general, or like maybe revealing what's actually going on. But he's not a. Well, he's presented
sort of a conduit.
He's an FBI agent. I mean, he's amazed with the trees. He's amazed with the coffee. He's amazed with the pie. That's all like very simplistic and childish, but. He's probably seen something. At least seen somebody get killed.
Especially with Catherine and Wyndham Earle.
And investigating the murders. And
he basically... Catherine was married to Wyndham Earle. He stole her.
Right.
Wyndham killed her.
Right.
And that's sort of... And that's, as far as we know, all the sort of trauma that he's dealt with.
But he does...
And sort of, I guess, impure way he dealt with something. Although he did love Catherine.
And he
went about it in a very not kosher way.
But the way he handled Audrey was pretty pure. Like, he handled it like he should have. Like, you know, like, I can't because... Well, he had interest, but... He kept work and play separate.
I mean, he learned his lesson.
18. Right,
yeah.
right.
And
I mean, she was very young. So was Annie, though.
Annie was young also.
But that didn't get as far as it
She was older. She was old. She was old enough.
Right. Well, so was Audrey, also, but he felt that
she was also... she was from the church. Am I... correct? She was sort of,
I'm pretty sure.
Left.
Yeah.
So everybody sort of has some sort of sordid, past. Not
like a tarnishing.
Totally, yeah.
Like like you said, she's from the church, or like the purity of, well, not the purity of Audrey, but she's a young girl. Laura was a young girl. It seems to deal a lot with like purity and innocence, and where that line is crossed, and where you can't like return from it, which in the diaries I think that's a major theme.
Or because
she's very torn. Return. Right.
But then like ultimately, I guess in the movie that's what it portrays, that there is a point of return.
But
you could still make a choice in the end.
You could still make a choice to do good despite what's happened to you. So there's always a redemption in that way, but you might not be able to save yourself specifically.
Yeah.
Because she's still trapped there, as far as we know.
I mean, we're not sure that the ending of Fire Walk with Me. You have the angel, and I mean you sort of, at least I assume that the angel came here to, take her to heaven or whatever, because I think those Christian themes also intertwine with sort of the Native American and other occult things.
Every culture usually has the same set of stories told in different ways, like the Bible, etc. Like they usually have like different versions of like the flood and stuff like that, and Adam and Eve, and I don't know how far they're getting into that specifically, but there is some religious imagery. There are a few crosses here and there, but that's common in any white home of the time.
This is true.
But she,
I mean, in her diary, she talks about going to church all the time.
Right.
So she definitely believes in a heaven and a hell.
She has a fondness for animals. This is also another connection with nature.
But then she just feels like having all these like sort of human,
really
emotions, feelings, whatever, is negative.
Right. Not to diminish it, but it could be like a really exaggerated metaphor for like puberty and like touching like things that you're not supposed to. She gets involved with drugs. Mm-hmm. Like touch and go, and then she becomes, I would assume, addicted after a point. Like she like has a relationship with it faintly, and then it just kind of consumes her like everything else does, and then she ends up in the river.
I mean, again, it's impurity. It's like sort of breaking away from the innocence all of this is just breaking from innocence. All these characters had their moment
And then
of breaking from
exactly.
innocence.
And then look at the way she's taken from that innocence by her father, spoiler,
Who also had his taken away at a young age
in the
as
same
well.
way, possessed by the same owl. I'm not sure what
Owl.
that, alien.
Some kind of weird spirit that is still unclear.
The mother of all others.
But also, I've seen the face of God.
Have you?
That's according to Mike. He has seen God.
But that means
But he's
different.
also...
That
Yeah.
means different things for different people. Like that could be the thrill of killing someone. That could be.
No, you're right.
But
It could mean
he was good though. He did cut off his arm to save himself from continuing. So maybe there was another.
He also
redemption
had a
that we-
redemption.
that
yeah.
we're not aware of yet.
The only one that hasn't had a downfall or redemption or anything is Bob. He's sort of alone.
We don't really know much about Bob though.
We don't.
What about Bob? I had to do that. Yeah. He's kind of an ethereal figure. I mean, obviously he's an ethereal figure, but they don't make much of a note to...
He's just the evil.
The only real relationships you know of his are him with Mike and him with Laura. And then I guess by way of that Ronette and...
And then also Wyndham Earl later on.
Right.
Because he actually speaks to Wyndham Earl.
But is that more of a control misdirection kind of a thing for Cooper, or is that like...
See, I'm not sure.
Because that's not his MO, if there is one to be had.
It's the thing, like, maybe when Garmin Bozia is involved, he gets, tense and scared a little bit. I think even Bob gets sort of
But that
freaked
seems...
out.
But I think that's kind of a currency. I don't know why that would be a point of fear if that's a sort of currency. Like, do I owe you? Because they ask him to give all of his Garmin Bozia pain and suffering. Like, does he garner that from the murders and then have to translate it? So what is he atoning for? Like, what am I paying back if I'm just continuing
I think
to...
that's just how they survive.
But why would I have to give it to the man from another place by way of Mike? Because that's what he does. He touches him, and then they talk. They don't speak separately. Like, he, speaks through him, even though they're both sitting right there. It's not even like, I'm trying to hide something from you. I'm showing you that, like, this is how
I feel like it might be sort of a maintaining life or youth. It's sort of some kind of life force, possibly.
That makes sense. You've heard.
It's sort of like a negative. It's sort of like a negative sort of life force. It's like just a negative.
It's almost
energy.
like it's almost like depression itself. Like if you're depressed, I mean, not everybody, but you get depressed, and then you can stay in that, and it kind of feeds on itself, and it like snowballs.
Mm-hmm. No,
So-
see, yeah, I think
so
that's what I think. I think that's what it might kind of represent or be.
Right.
It might not be anything.
No, it could not be anything. Yeah, no, it could
I
just
guess
be...
we're assigning meaning to it, which is what Lynch ultimately wants.
Well,
Even
sure.
if he doesn't understand what it is, he wants people to.
Any
put their
advertising
own
is
thing.
good advertising.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it is an interesting concept, and it is an interesting way of approaching a story, I think. Because it's not... I mean, so many stories can be told, but it's not traditional. Not much of Lynch is.
Well, no, and I think that's why I like him.
Oh, sure.
And it's also very visually evocative.
It's also very alienating.
Gets in your... Well, yeah,
also
that's
very,
part
very
of, that's part of
alienating.
his style.
Like, no matter how much I like it, there are some things that I'm just like, I can't right now. Like, I have to, like, either come back to it later or, like, process it, like, in pieces as opposed to...
Give it some time and then come back
Exactly.
to it.
It's not... It's just that there's... Oh, okay. It's just that there's so much there. There's just... It's, like, so much data mining to, like...
And it's only a season.
It's a lot,
Two
though.
seasons.
It's like 30 episodes. It's a lot to undertake. If you
And
wade
now
through
there's the
all
book,
of the
and
romance.
there's also the diary, which I'm still getting through, and I'm sure I'll have more thoughts once I'm done with that.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. That might be one of the best pieces to come out of this whole thing, I think. Even though it wasn't
The diary?
directly... Yeah, it's really
I
well
mean,
done.
I love the secret history of Twin Peaks, and you guys can watch
that's
our
fantastic.
video
Oh, yeah,
that we did on
discussed
that. We'll still do a part 2. We haven't done it yet. We decided to talk about the movie.
Yeah, this
since it
seems more
seems to be
pertinent.
really... I mean, there's
a lot to
apparently the
go.
new series is going to be dictated by what happens in that movie.
They'll probably use a lot of the ideas that they didn't get to in the show, which is probably sort of what they were trying to do with the film.
Yeah,
Or
it seems like that's what it's going to be. David Lynch wanted certain things from Showtime. He wanted certain people there. He wanted allowance for certain things, which is why he wasn't going to do it, because they weren't going to let him. But then they let him do it with some compromises, I imagine. But
Right.
okay, so how do you think the movie and what you know about from the secret history of Twin Peaks is going to tie in with the third season, which we know pretty much nothing about? But the way the epilogue of the movie ends,
Right. I don't know
is with Annie saying that Dale is in the Black Lodge with Laura. The good Dale is in the Black Lodge with Laura.
she's repeating herself.
Yeah.
And then the nurse takes the ring,
But Annie is talking to Laura in the past,
but she's not in the room.
a year, like
She's-
almost a couple months
Right.
earlier.
She's repeating herself, like, I guess as she comes out of her trance, coma, whatever you want. She wasn't in a coma, though, because she wasn't asleep. She was just, like, dazed. I guess
she was sort of just
out of it. As one would be, I'm sure.
transfixed. I don't know what the appropriate adjective is, but
It's,
but also in this epilogue, which this is the first time I had seen it.
I hadn't seen it.
The nurse that's taking care of Annie takes the ring
Right.
from her, puts it on, looks in the mirror,
Mm.
and walks off.
Right.
So now I'm thinking, if Bob is still out there
Mm-hmm. He definitely is.
as Cooper,
Right.
Mike is still out there
As Mike?
as Mike,
Mm.
I believe.
I
He's
think-
not.
yeah.
He didn't die,
No.
right? No.
I don't think so.
So now I think the nurse might be Laura.
I guess that's
Possibly?
what that's supposed to imply. I don't know if that's canon.
I don't know if it's.
Like,
I don't know
it
if this is canon, but this is in the
It's just
missing
like-
pieces. This is the deleted scene or epilogue at the end. If you guys want to see it, I suggest either if you have the DVD, check it out, or you might be able to
might
find
be
it
able to
online.
find it online. Yeah.
But she takes the ring from Annie, which Annie's wearing that I
Right.
didn't know she was.
Right.
But she's not wearing it for that long before the nurse takes it.
Well, we don't know how long she had it before then. I guess.
The man from another place, Cooper, talks to him and says, "Is this the past or the future?" And then Coop asks, "Who has the ring?"
Right. And he says,
And then
Annie.
somebody but then the other guy said, man from another place said somebody took it, and he said Annie. So Annie has it for a little while, and then the nurse takes it from her. Again,
Right.
we don't know if this is canon, but
Even-
you might be able to assume that it's the bad Laura or Mike's cousin.
Right.
That looks a lot like Laura.
Right. We have to remember that it's going to be 25 years later, so I mean, it might be relevant in some way, but I don't know that they'll necessarily approach it like you would think they might.
Oh no, they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna pick it up right where it left off. They're gonna
Not
have
at
to
all.
fill that gap some way. They might not give you any information.
Probably not right
The
away.
book that Mark Frost said he's coming out with after the series is over
That might fill in
the
more.
25 years.
Right.
Secret History of Twin Peaks doesn't really fill it in that much. It pretty much leads you up to the point of the season finale.
A little
more or
bit
less.
after, yeah.
A little bit
after that, yeah. And
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and
But then the book, the dossier is being read back to you in October 2016. Or that's when TP, I'm not going to give any spoilers for that.
Right.
Starts tweaking and narrating the dossier.
Right.
So, again, we don't have any information about...
No. And
Even after reading that huge book, and I'm sure there's might be hints or something in there.
We haven't really deciphered that yet.
I haven't figured it out.
There was a major stressing on the difference between secrets and mysteries, and this, I think, focused more on the secrets, which are not that they're not good, but they're not, like, it's not tangible. A mystery has, like, an ending, and secrets just kind of are, like, in this between place.
Mhm.
So maybe they're trying to play with those themes. I'm not sure how, though.
I mean, yeah, that's been like their whole thing about Twin Peaks and that world is just the mysteries and the secrets,
Right.
and how you could mix those up,
Right. And what actually is going on, if anything.
and you might never know. That's the whole thing.
Right.
You'll never know. They don't want you to know.
Right.
Mark Frost doesn't want you to know.
Well,
they
then
didn't want you to know who killed Laura Palmer initially,
Well, then they forced their hand and had to change.
but now they have control. So
Free reign. And
so you'll probably at the end of season 3 you'll probably have even more questions than answers. They want you to keep thinking about it
If
for another
not-
30 years.
People are going to start dying in,
I
in
mean,
higher numbers. I mean, you can only do so much unless you make another movie.
I mean, they're
don't know.
not going to make anything else after this. Lynch
I don't
and
think so.
Frost
They
are
said
gonna have
no
to go
already?
Lynch said this is probably going to be it. I mean, there might be books. I mean, there's supposed to be a book coming out after
After
this.
the fact. That might be
There might be another book.
Right.
Maybe his daughter writes another book.
another one, right? I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm not sure.
That's still very open-ended. They're not talking about anything for the most part.
Yeah, there have been a handful of teasers, but it's nothing, it's people eating donuts.
I mean,
which
it's
is not,
Cooper
yeah.
walking out of this black space.
Right.
Nothing telling about these clips. I mean, then you have Cole eating a donut, which is great.
Oh, that's fantastic. I still want those donuts.
I don't know. Are there any other clips that?
Nothing I've seen, just the one of him in the, not in the forest, but they show, them driving down a road, and then they have...
Oh, right,
But
yes.
it's the same
And
one,
then
they
the
just shorten
trees.
it.
So I really don't know if Cooper's going to be himself in the show.
He'll be...
I don't think we'll know for a little while.
They probably won't make that, the first thing they address coming back.
So I don't know if they're going to sort of try to play it with somebody else. Are
They
they
could-
going to sort of just do away with
Bob could
those characters a
Bob
little
could
bit?
probably come back as Leland, I would think, convincingly, because
Possible.
we've already seen shades of that. I mean, throughout the entire show and the film itself.
I mean, yeah, you could even say that the acts that Leland, did might have been even more as Bob working through him
Right.
Bob might just decide to, take the form of Leland now that Leland's dead too.
Right. If the film is to be thought of as canon, he committed that first murder as well, in addition to in addition to Laura and the attempt on Ronette. So, as far as we know, it's been him the entire time possessed,
Yeah.
which has been pretty established.
I mean, I don't remember where I read it, but he might have said it in the show, but he's been possessed since he was 12.
I think that was in the book. I'm pretty sure that was in the book.
He saw Bob, he was a neighbor at his lake house,
Right,
his family's lake house, and that's when he started consorting with Bob, and
Right.
who knows what happened really, but
Yeah, that's really the germ of the whole thing, because whatever happened to... Was Bob ever a person?
I mean, he might have been. I think Bob is probably just the entity that just sort of
That's what
embodies, has certain, just takes on a certain look.
But was he possessed?
Doppelganger.
Right. There's a lot of that. We spoke about that in the last video, actually, about the twinning and the doubling of a lot of people. Like the scene in the movie when he keeps checking the camera, I think, for himself, and then it finally happens when David Bowie comes in.
Yeah.
And neither of them make mention of it because it seems normal. Only Cooper notices that... Or maybe he doesn't even notice that he stopped and went back and he was still standing there on the live feed.
I think he's too distracted by Bowie's character that he doesn't realize that he's still standing there.
It's not even that he's distracted, it's just that when he shows it to... Who did he show it to?
He shows it to Cole, doesn't he?
He shows it to Cole to show him that Bowie did come in, and he's
He was
standing
here,
there.
yeah.
It's just that he doesn't make notice that he wasn't standing there when he walked by.
This is true. And then there's another thing that I noticed real quick is that while he's showing Gordon the screen, on the right you also see another person
Walking outside of the building.
with a trench coat.
I thought it might have been Bowie because the trench coat was a little more flowy than Cooper's, but it could have easily just
I mean,
been
it could have been
Cooper.
Desmond, it could have
It
been
could have been
Cooper,
right.
could have been Jeffries, which is David Bowie's character.
Right.
Um,
I think it was likely Jeffries because I think that was... I didn't get a good look, but I feel like the
I don't-
coats were very different.
I
I don't know
think-
why that's in my head that way.
I think David Bowie's character is sort of, I don't know, he broke out of wherever they had him. I think he came through the elevator because there's a whole thing with coming through electricity and
There's a lot of
Walk With Me.
There's a lot of static. There's a lot of TV static. There's a lot of blue lights. There's a lot of. But I don't know what was he. They didn't really make mention of what he was talking about. So maybe there was another murder
Judas.
elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
I feel like that's irrelevant.
Don't ask me
But
about
it's-
like
right. He got very upset, and then suddenly he disappeared, and no one
Again.
was sure if he was even ever.
But he
there.
disappears once there's static.
Right.
So he might have broken out, and he might just I don't know. He might not be in the right kind of mind, or he might not even know where he is, Because he just sort of walked in and started shouting things. He didn't really acknowledge anyone.
No, he just kind of got
like,
he
what
just,
are you talking about?
Yeah.
This is Special Agent Cooper. And he just keeps rambling on about Judy or Judith, whatever.
Yeah, I heard that too, and then it fades out, and then it goes to all the strangeness with the man in the mask and the red suit, and yeah.
Which you could assume is the spirit of the boy that's jumping. That's like his Bob or his Mike.
Something like that. They have the same mask.
And I think the old woman is one of the guys.
Right.
One of the electrician guys.
They didn't make that as obvious either.
That's something I just caught today.
Mm.
But I think the spirit of the old lady and the boy are sort of good spirits. I think they keep Mike and Bob in check, sort of. A little bit. I think they keep an eye on. They're sort of, I don't know.
But there's still an allowance for the violence and
because of Garmin Bozia. I think that's what it is. But also,
I feel like there's a lot more to
the
that.
lady. But also, I don't know, because in the show, the old lady doesn't want cream corn.
Right.
She doesn't want that pain and sorrow.
Right. But why would?
But then the little boy has it in his hand.
Mm.
Do you see cream corn on this plate? And then he has it in his hand.
Right.
So
almost like an offering, or not really an acceptance, because usually you're offering. Well, I guess you could receive.
It's almost like a communion.
That's another Christian theme that they throw in. I don't know if that's intentional.
The pain and suffering of Christ, maybe. Who knows?
I mean, yeah, tangentially.
You could go there, but
they didn't quite make that. But yeah, there's a like the parallel.
And he's in like a suit. It looks like a communion suit.
And again, the purity of.
And he's
Laura
like about the age he would take communion also. So again, it's about purity. It's a little boy.
It could also be a resemblance. I don't know if they had this in mind then, but a resemblance of Leland when he was first touched or taken or whatever you want. I don't know whatever happened there. There's a lot we don't know.
I think the little they didn't address the little boy and the grandmother enough in the show, but I think they're important. You could speculate all you want, but there's not enough information there. There is with the movie. They sort of give you a little bit more.
Yeah,
and the painting
it rounds it out. The painting is horrifying.
Which
that is horrifying. That room with the door, and then it's slightly.
Which I think the painting is them. Without the painting, I don't think she would have met Cooper to give her that warning.
But why did she keep it?
But I also think maybe they're not. The Dark Lodge doesn't sit in any linear point in time. I don't.
No, the Black Lodge is like between time or in a slip.
It's just somewhere else.
It's like and again parallel. It must be parallel to existence.
They could go anywhere they want in time, and So what you're seeing, anytime you're seeing the Black Lodge, it could not. You could be.
But they choose.
Who knows?
But they choose to remain there. It seems, unless that's just where they inhabit, like the man from another place, or the giant, or I guess Laura now.
That's sort of, I guess, where they check back in or something,
right?
Because the giant knows things that are going to happen. Knows things that are going to happen, but also Cooper does.
He seems,
in the movie, he has that sort of that sixth sense, that ESP.
Even in the show, he's got strange methods to predict who'd they go after, James.
But all his methods, the methods he learns are all sort of like of earthly origin,
right?
Like
but
thing.
He seems in tune with like spirit and like nature.
Oh no, he's according to him, he's studied that stuff.
Right.
So he might have come onto some sort of magic or something, some kind of ritual or practice.
That might be how
that allows him to access that lodge.
And retain his innocence to a degree.
He probably did it to find some kind of peace after all that stuff happened with Catherine and Wyndham Earl, who he, I think he feels sorry for.
Ultimately, yeah.
Although justice is his ultimate, priority, but he also feels guilt, which I think was what ends up allowing him to Bob to inhabit him. He feels guilty about Annie, about Wyndham Earl, about Audrey, about Catherine,
about Laura,
to
an extent,
about Ronette Pulaski, about he takes it on himself, and I think Gordon Cole knows that about him and tries to keep him in check, and so does Sheriff Truman towards the end because they form a bond. But it ends up he can't. I don't think he remains in control of that guilt,
right?
And that pain and sorrow,
Pain and Sorrow. Carmen
which
Balfe.
he is full of, and which is why he acts so whimsical and tries to, you know. I feel like I'm learning things as I'm discussing it right now. But
Right, and after multiple viewings, of course, too, we reveal more aspects of it. It makes a lot more sense than it did the first time I saw either the show
I
or
think
the
this is the
film.
first time I paid real attention to it, and I'm realizing what is happening.
We have a bit more
especially with the
context with the
characters.
books, too. Yeah.
This
so
is true. The Secret History of Twin Peaks gave us a lot.
rounds it out very nicely.
All right, so we were in the middle of recording that, and my camera battery died. So we will continue this discussion in another video
Very soon.
Once I finish The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer.
Right.
We'll round out this video, finish discussing what we think about Cooper and Laura, what's going on with everybody in
Maybe
Twin
what
Peaks.
to expect for the next season.
So,
Which is
again,
kind of what we're building
if you guys have watched this far, thank you guys so
Thanks
much.
a lot. Yeah.
Please comment with all your theories and what you think is going to happen
Nobody's made it
with
this
the
far.
show.
I hope you have.
I hope you have too.
It's
If
a very
you have
interesting
made
discussion.
if you have made it this far, write "damn fine coffee" in the comments below, just so we know you
Damn
made
fine
it.
coffee.
Damn fine coffee, all one word though. Don't write it separate.
Hashtag damn fine coffee.
Hashtag damn fine coffee in the comments below.
Is that fair?
If you made it this far,
And then we'll have could we do like a group discussion maybe like on
we could do
Facebook
sort of
Live or
we could-
something?
yeah, you could
maybe try
catch
that
us on Facebook Live, or
All right.
we'll do a YouTube Live thing if you guys are
Oh right.
interested.
Okay, I forgot YouTube does that.
Or we could do Twitter. You could always message us.
That's true.
On Twitter,
Yes.
you'll find the links. You guys know where to find me. So, if you guys do like this video, please subscribe to get part 2 and
like it.
further videos that are going to come out. We are going to make more about the book. We're going to talk about the secret history of Twin Peaks more.
As the time
possibly.
gets shorter and shorter, we might as well just put out all we can.
I mean, we are. And as more we get from the show, David Lynch said he's not going to put out any official trailers for Twin Peaks.
I think that's a good move.
There's going to be little clips, probably. There's probably going to be a couple more little clips, and then we'll get the show, and we're going to...
There were those websites.
We're gonna
as
break
well,
down
but
each
that's-
episode,
Yeah,
so-
we'll try to.
And we'll talk about the websites. That's a new
Yes.
development.
There's really not too much there other than it linking
We'll,
back to playing.
we'll discuss it.
Yeah, we'll
discuss
get there.
All right, guys.
All right.
Remember, subscribe, all that,
Like.
and we'll catch you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
I never took cocaine or any other drug. I don't take drugs.
Nicotine's a drug. Caffeine's a drug.
Who's the towhead? Those drugs are legal.